Kia ora koutou, Coach Kumi here from 6'4 Army. This video is about our upcoming weightlifting cycle that is going to begin on August the 7th and run in conjunction with our off-season training block of CrossFit programming to November the 19th. This training cycle is for those that are interested in growing and developing the Olympic weightlifting. This is 5 sessions per week. We've labeled them day 1 to day 5, not necessarily Monday to Wednesday, day off, etc. The idea is that you choose your own training split, and the best outcome for this training split will be 3 days on, 1 day off, 2 days on, 1 day off. However that best works for you, you can be the decider of your fate there. In this training cycle, we're focusing on developing the 1 rep max strength in the clean, the jerk, the snatch, back squat, and the front squat. Those are our 5 high priorities there. We'll have a ton more exposure at higher percentages throughout the duration of the cycle. Heavy singles, heavy complexes every single week. And then we're going to be performing deload weeks in between those, just so then we can down-regulate, re-regulate our bodies and avoid injuries, avoid burnout, blowout, and then make sure that we're still training at a high clip when required. There's a great chance that you'll get familiar with the heavier percentage work in this training cycle and having a good amount of opportunities to actually hit a heavy single, potentially a new 1 rep max weekly, and certain lifts at that, just because of the nature of the cycle. Build to a heavy single, build to a heavy 3 rep, build to a heavy something. It has certain parameters there with build to a heavy that feels good, that has good quality of movement, that's avoid of injury, that's avoid of distasteful movement, etc. And that's basically up to users' discretion of how you wish to do that. By all means, this isn't a program where you come in every day and you just try and max out, but it does have a good amount of opportunities that you can hit heavy singles. On that token, this is often a protocol that we use periodically that will help you potentially hit those numbers, because if we give you, say, you go to 80% today for 3 sets of 3, and today your body was capable for 3 sets of 3 at say 95%, but you will stay at 80%. We're leaving gains potentially on the table. On the other hand, you may be walking into the gym and being asked to do 3 sets of 3 at 90%, and you only have in your body 3 sets of 3 at 70%. So then you can walk out of the gym feeling quite deflated of not getting up to what you were supposed to do. You're starting to rearrange the workout on the fly and trying to change things up and be a bit more malleable. So those heavy singles, etc., heavy rep max is more suited to how you feel on the day. There's no really discouragement of what the number is, because there's no guideline of the percentage that's there. If it's a heavy single and it's at 70%, so be it. We work from there. There are days that start with squatting first, so that you look to use the super compensation from this before we go into the lifting that's going to fire up your central nervous system. Generally speaking, you're going to squat more than you could say snatch. So that means that we'll be better prepared in terms of our body central nervous system to be able to handle the lighter load. We won't be squatting so much as a super compensation method that we will be fatigued for the following lifting complex to follow, or the lifting component. But definitely we are looking to put some sort of priority back into leg strength for this, so to develop your 1 rep max squat. We want to put that first, and not at the 4th component of the session, which might be 90 minutes down the track. We want to make sure that we have a good amount of energy, at least for some of the training days per week, to build on that. Day 1 of your training cycle, you'll be looking at doing a back squat, some sort of snatch complex and percentage work, some snatch deadlifts, heavy, push presses, bent over rows, and some accessory works. On the day 2, a clean primer, clean and jerk complex, front squats plus split jerks. So that's a combination. We're just fatiguing the body, the central nervous system, the overhead, the front rack position, the midline, by just performing a couple of squats, and then making it a real life simulation to perform a quality and technical split jerk once we've taxed the legs a little bit. From here, we look at doing some odd object stuff. So we'll be looking at performing some dumbbell work, sandbag work, some carries, some holds, and then finally into some anti-core rotational work. So we're just building different ranges and different planes of movement within the body. Day 3, we have front squat waves. So essentially you have the 3rd day in a row of squatting, different percentages, different deviations of how they should go. So you should be primed enough and still be able to give enough energy into this squat session on day 3. Again, front squat waves, so you might be doing 3-2-1, 3-2-1, 3-2-1 of changing percentages. Squat clean is an EMOM percentage work. We're going back over here with push jerk plus split jerk combo. So we're doing a whole myriad of different pressing overhead or overhead pressing components, strict presses, push presses, behind the neck pressing, snatch grip push jerking, split jerking. We're getting a ton of work in there just to feel the nuances of which different lifts will provide different stimulus and just to add total volume and value to the actual lift itself. We'll finally finish with some accessory work of bounding and pressing. So the bounding will be done in plyometric fashion. It might be death jumps, box jumps, broad jumps, things of that nature, some single leg work, some pogo jumps, just to help promote and create hip extension and explosive and dynamic power, and some sort of press variation as well. It could be single arm dumbbell press, it could be upside down, bottoms up, kettlebell pressing, things of that nature. Day 4. Power snatches, so we're having our first day away from full squatting. So power snatches, some sort of accessory snatch exercise. Think of snatch balances, tall snatches, hip snatches, low hang snatches, snatch deadlifts, tempo work, things like that. We have snatch pulls, and then some strict chin ups and some dip work. So we're just working on the strict upper body work there, and then to finish, we're getting the good old classic, some arm work in there. On day 5, this is our really heavy day. I cannot bold print this enough. Snatch heavy single, clean and jerk heavy single, squat heavy single. So for every single day 5, you're asked to do some sort of heavy lift on a snatch, a clean and jerk, and front squat, back squat, and then some accessory work and lower body supplementary work. You're only allowed 1 miss. We're not lifting 6 heavy singles for misses to get PRs every single time. We're lifting for quality. Make sure that you know when to move on to the next component, and this is where we're going to help gain some more exposure at those higher percentages and getting a better look in at what those look like as well. So again, to summarize, this is our weightlifting block that's going to be 15 weeks in length. August 7th, November 19th is going to be the length of this training block. You'll get a ton of exposure at developing a new 1 rep max, clean, jerk, snatch, front squat and back squat, and we can't wait to see what your gains look like. Cheers.